Beer here back at the Fantasy Bar. 4th of July is behind us, and a big Wednesday night slate is on tap. I got some of my favorite plays ready for you to go on FanDuel and DraftKings, including a game that we are going to want to stack on both sides, a value play hitting in the heart of the order in a great matchup at just $3,000 on DraftKings, a value pitcher in a great strikeout matchup, and a beast of the night I think is in for a huge night. Who are we talking about? Belly up to the Fantasy Bar and find out. Welcome in, guys. Wednesday edition Beers Daily Fantasy Six-Pack. Hope everybody out there enjoyed their 4th of July holiday. Welcome in to the Fantasy Bar. Got some of my favorite plays fresh off the tap for you over on FanDuel and DraftKings. Thank you, as always, for stopping by and hanging out here in the Fantasy Bar. Before we get into the plays, the housekeeping, you know the drill. First thing, thumbs up button. Very important. Much appreciated. Helps us out tremendously here on YouTube. So that's the tip jar here on this free video. Thank you for that. Subscribe to the channel as well if you have not already, and head over to scoresandodds.com/beer. Tons of great sports betting information over there. A reminder, our first play of every video will be found on our RotoGrinders YouTube page under our shorts video. Can also find that on Twitter. You get the first play there. You get the rest of the plays here in the main video. All right, let's dive in here tonight. Looks like a fun slate of games. No major weather concerns, but as always, we'll keep an eye and make any changes that are necessary. All right, let's start at shortstop here with Francisco Lindor of the Mets. So Lindor, a lot of power this year. You know, it's a guy that's always hit for power at the shortstop position, doing it again this season. 3 home runs over just the last 9 games, 17 home runs on the season now, and has really hit lefties extremely well this season. ISO way up there at 326, team high for this guy. So better numbers than a guy like Pete Alonso against lefties. So very impressive here for Francisco Lindor. Henry, a lot of fastballs over half the time. That's his pitch that he's going to lean on. Big time numbers for Lindor, both this season, last season, and when you combine them, we're talking an ISO at almost 500 against fastballs for Francisco Lindor. So a great matchup here. Going to see a good amount of fastballs against a lefty. Sign me up for Francisco Lindor. All right, let's get you that value play, I promise, at first base or outfield with Brandon Belt of Toronto. Now you got a little flexibility over on DraftKings. Throw him in the outfield. FanDuel, you got your utility spots. So definitely a lot of ways to use this guy. But anytime I'm seeing prices on this for a guy like Brandon Belt in the heart of the order, in a good matchup, which we're going to get to in a minute, he's one guy I definitely want to go to and remains one of the best buy lows on both sites. Now, numbers this season down against righties, and that's what's helping keeping his price down. We look back to last season, 265 ISO against righties. So that positive regression is coming for Brandon Belt. And we mentioned the matchup. Anytime I see Lance Lynn, I instantly go to the lefties on the other side. Now, Toronto, not a ton of lefties in this lineup, but Belt, again, probably hitting cleanup here against Lynn. We're talking a WOBA at almost 450, allowed the left-handed hitters. An ISO over 300, and a lot of hard contact, as you'd expect, way up at 51%. So Belt, Varsho, and some of the righties not out of play here. Could be a sneaky stack for you tonight, but Brandon Belt, way too cheap in this matchup with Lance Lynn. All right, let's get you a starting pitcher I like tonight. We are rolling with Alex Cobb of San Francisco. Now, Cobb, not a massive strikeout guy, but pretty consistent. Can generally get us in that 5, 6, 7 range. We've seen some outliers where he's got up even higher in the strikeout department. And the last couple starts have not been great for Alex Cobb. There's some solid options on the slate tonight as far as starting pitcher goes, but I don't think anyone runs away with it. So Cobb, right there in the mix, a guy that could finish right at the top of the starting pitcher scoring at the end of the night. Now, splits, we talk about him a little bit with pitchers. Home starts have been great for Alex Cobb. ERA under 1.5 here, averaging almost 20 DraftKings points per game. We know this is a very friendly pitcher environment here in San Francisco, and a great matchup here with Seattle. Certainly some dangerous bats in that lineup, but a ton of strikeouts as well. Only Minnesota striking out at a higher rate this season against right-handed pitching. Seattle way up at over 25.5% strikeout rate against righties. Alex Cobb, good prices, good ballpark, been good at home, and a good matchup here with the strikeout happy Seattle Mariners. All right, back to the bats. Let's spend up a little bit at third base with Jose Ramirez of Cleveland. So Ramirez has been quiet, and anytime that happens, we know a lot of recency bias can go into ownership. Who clicks the name? They don't want to spend up this kind of coin on Jose Ramirez. I think it's a good contrarian spot. You spend up, not going to see a ton of ownership here, in my opinion. Easily leading this team in both WOBA and ISO against righties. Woba up over 400. ISO right over 200 here. And Soroka, we don't have a lot here. This guy's been dealing with a lot of injuries, fighting his way back, but a slow start against left-handed hitters. 397 Woba and a lot of power allowed. 417 the ISO given up so far this season. So Ramirez only a matter of time before he snaps out of it. I think it starts as early as tonight against Mr. Soroka. All right, it's time to take a look at my favorite play for Wednesday night. Before we do that, let's continue our Beast of the Night contest. Easy to play. All you got to do after you've hit that thumbs up button, head to the comment section and guess fantasy points on FanDuel for my highest scoring hitter. The closest guess going to win themselves a free week of RotoGrinders Premium. And while you're down there, I want to know who your favorite play is on this slate. Who is your Beast of the Night? If you were 10 in the bar, sound off in that YouTube comment section. All right, let's wrap this baby up with my favorite play, you know, Matt, the Beast of the Night. All right, Beast time. We're going to stay right there in that Cleveland-Atlanta game. A lot of options here on the Braves side as always, but we are rolling with first baseman Matt Olson, tonight's Beast of the Night. So again, we mentioned it with Brandon Belt. A little flexibility with him can get both of those guys in your lineup on both sites, and Olson certainly a priority for me here tonight. 10 home runs for this guy over just the last 20 days alone, and he's been killing right-handed pitching this season as well. 435 Woba, ISO approaching 400 for him here. Quantrill been a mess. 387 Woba allowed, 2 left-handed hitters, and his last 3 starts have been an absolute disaster. 20 earned runs for him over just those last 3 starts alone. Negative DraftKings points in each of those games. And now guess what? You get a matchup with the Atlanta Braves. Braves will be popular here. Lots of ways to get different, including some of the guys we gave you already. Certainly a premium stack here tonight. And to me, Matt Olson, the premium bat you want on tonight's slate. Easily my favorite play on the board and tonight's Beast of the Night. All right, guys, that'll do it here for Wednesday with my favorite plays for you on FanDuel and DraftKings. If you have any comments, questions, or feedback, as always, hit me up in that comment section right below the video. Don't forget, you're going to see points on FanDuel for my highest scoring hitter for a shot at some free RotoGrinders Premium. You can also follow me on Twitter at Beermakersfan. For RotoGrinders.com, I am Beer saying salut, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Best of luck on the slate tonight. We'll be back again on Friday. Good luck. Go win some money, and we'll see you on Friday.
Hey, thanks for checking out our videos. If you want more expert advice on DraftKings, FanDuel, or any other daily fantasy sports, make sure you check out the current videos playlist